Alright, hello internet. It's Deanna, and I thought I would start out introducing myself and making a video about my current makeup routine. So I'm going to start, I've just cleansed my face. I'm going to start out with my Makeup Forever Hydrating Primer and just put this on. I use just a little bit. I have dry skin, so this feels really nice. I have the smoothing primer as well, which I find works nicely, but lately my skin has been dry, even though it's summertime. Alright, so next I'm taking my Too Faced Born This Way foundation in Warm Nude and a damp beauty blender. And applying this over my face. This foundation has medium to full coverage, but I find that while I definitely have blemished skin and definite acne marks and some active breakouts, I don't mind leaving the medium coverage and not covering my face with full coverage. So just a little bit all over the face, blend it down the neck. So, and onto the ears as well, just cover anything up, get right in there. Alright, so as you can see, it's definitely not covering up all my marks, but it's definitely evened out my skin tone, made me look a little bit more presentable. Alright, so I normally don't do concealer regularly, but I thought for the purposes of this video I would. So I'm going to take a little bit of the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind in Light, and I actually took the sponge off, so just working with some on the back of my hand. I do have the Beauty Blender Minis, but I find that the normal size Beauty Blender works just fine for the under eye area. Just bringing it down a little bit. I don't find that I look better if I bring my concealer all the way down, so I'm okay just dabbing a little bit under the eye. I have been not getting very much sleep lately. Yeah, I find my under eye bags are not too bad, and if they are, there's not too much discoloration, so I'll take whatever's left on my nose, chin, forehead, and sometimes I will use my Bare Minerals Well Rested Face and Eye Brightener. Draw a line down my nose, cupid's bow, chin, and this is actually a lot less opaque and just kind of brings a brightening and lightening effect to the skin without covering it, if that makes sense. Alright, looks pretty decent. Alright, next up I'm going to take this Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder in Radiant Light, and it is quite bronzy for me, but I find that using this Real Techniques powder brush, if I just dab a little bit in there, top it off and do a quick dusting of my face. I'm alright because I do have dry skin. Using this bronzer. It came out in Walgreens in a Disney collection. It's called Spinning Arrow. It was part of the Pocahontas collection. Taking some of that on my Real Techniques Expert Face brush. And bronzing the skin. Contouring. Maybe a little bit. Circular motions as well as sweeping motions, just to ensure that I've blended the area. So I'll take it this way, the long way down the side of the face, and then to blend it, I'll go the fat way and really buff that in. Alright. We'll take a little bit up onto the forehead and up by the jaw and ear. And I tend to stop right there just to sculpt this back jawbone a little bit. Alright, next up, I'm going to do a little bit more contouring. Now this step I normally don't do, but I figure for the purpose of this video, I'll do it. I'm using the Kevyn Aucoin Sculpting Powder in medium. And I'm taking this Real Techniques contour brush from the Bold Metals collection. And with this you really don't need much at all. And I'm just blending that out now into the bronzer. Keeping it pretty high back on the face. It does make a difference, as you can see. I'm just barely tapping my brush in there. Laying the color down and blending. Right into the bronzer. Just to create that more sculpted, put together look, if I do say so myself. Next, I'm going to use a blush from Wet n Wild. It is their new formula in a new color, Rose Champagne. I'm going to take that on my Real Techniques multitask brush. Just dab it because, again, very pigmented. And brush back from the apples of my cheeks, smile, do a little swirl, and pull it back. Using upward strokes. Alright, next, using the angled highlighter brush from Real Techniques, I am taking Becca Champagne Pop. Just dabbing my brush in there. Brushing from where my eye ends backwards. Backing up. Bringing it up. Normally I bring it from right here where my eye ends up to the arch of my eyebrow. take a little bit dab on the angled part of the brush, do some on my nose, cupid's bow, chin, and the forehead. Alright, and for the eyes, I'm going to be using Urban Decay Primer Potion. This was a sample size in a palette I bought. Now, because I have dry skin, I don't find my eyeshadows creasing on me, but I do think it helps them apply smoother and look better. Alright, next up with the Kat Von D Shadow and Light palette, I'm going to be using my finger to apply this shade, Ludwin. Yes. My finger all over my eye. This is a creamy off-white color. Next, I'm going to take this Real Techniques Duo Fiber Eye Brush in the shade Lattice. This light orange color, and lay it in the crease area. Now, I have eyes where my crease is pretty close to my lash line, so any color that I put in between my crease and my eye tends to disappear when my eye is relaxed because it folds on itself. It's really using circular motions. I actually think I'd like a little bit more increase, so I'm going to use this Eco Tools brush. Now, I found this brush a little bit scratchier than the Real Techniques brush, but it does get the job done, and it's nothing horribly uncomfortable or unusable, just a preference. Alright, now going back in with the same Real Techniques brush, because it does pick up so little product, I'm going to dip it into the shade Lazarus, which is a cool light brown, just to really define this crease a little bit without detracting from the light orange that we just laid down. We'll just make the crease a little bit more prominent, and I tend to really focus it where my eye bone, where my eye socket is, so that it kind of lifts my crease a little bit. Okay, and now for the lid color, I'm actually going to tie back in with Becca Champagne Pop and take this MAC 242 brush impact on the color. All the way from inner corner to outer. Alright, next I'm going to be using, I think I'm going to use this Real Techniques base shadow brush, which is actually quite rounded at the tip. And I'm going to lay into the color Lucius, which is this warm brown red color. It's like a russet. I'm going to focus this on the outer V of the eye. And drag it in down to the center of the lash line. Basically, the arch of my eyebrow to the center of my lash line, making that V. Blend. Once most of the shadow is off the brush, I use swiping motions all the way from inner to outer corner just to blend and blend up and out from the crease, this corner. Now, I do have two different eye shapes. I have, this eye is much more open than this eye, as you can tell, so I do apply my shadow in a way to kind of balance the two out. Next, with this Robin Nicole brush I've had since like 8th grade, I'm going into the shade Solace and darkening up that outer V. Just to give more depth and dimension to the eye. Lightly brushing along the lash line, not being very precise. Alright, and now I'm going to take my Stila Smudge Stick Waterproof Eyeliner in Damsel. It's a beautiful chocolatey brown color, and I'm just going to lay some eyeliner right above my lash line. There's one eye eyeliner without. It really does define the eye. And as you can see, I've done a slight flick at the end of the eye, but nothing too dramatic. Alright, taking a flat shadow brush. This was a set from Coastal Scents. I'm going back into this russet color called Lucius, and dragging this color along the lower lash line, probably two-thirds of the way in. Kind of where I get this fold and you see the lashes stopped growing there, so not all the way in, not closing off the eye, but tying this color back in and kind of ties the look together a little bit. So next are lashes, and I was not blessed with long or curly lashes. I'll be using my Tarte eyelash curler, and honestly, I don't curl my lashes every day. Just when I want to look extra nice. And I'll be using my Buxom Lash Mascara, something I love. One of the few high-end mascaras I do invest in. Now, as you can see, there's no huge difference, but it does help to separate them, especially because my lashes are already black. Mascara really just elongates them a bit and separates them. And for the lower lashes, I'll be using Rimmel's Lash Accelerator Mascara because the wand is small and perfect for getting right in there. Alright, and of course we can't forget the eyebrows. And for my eyebrows, because I can't find my Anastasia number 18 brush, I'll be using this MAC 212 brush and my Anastasia Granite Brow Powder Duo, taking the black shade from arch to tail, really defining under the brow and lightly filling toward the top of the brow. I find it looks most natural that way instead of a harsh line on top of your brow. Alright, and now with the lighter shade in the duo, I'm going to go fill in towards the front of the brow. Alright, this brow got a little bit dark. Alright, it's not too bad. So, lips. I'm going to be using my favorite brand. Bite Beauty. I have these shades Madeira as well as Cranberry, which were from the holiday set 2 years ago, I want to say. So, first, I'll be applying Madeira, which I believe is described as a peachy nude. Alright, see how that looks. And because this is a little bit pale for me, it makes me look a little bit very nude lip, I'm going to be applying the shade Cranberry. And I like to roughly line the edges of my lips and rub them together to create a more rosy nude with a little bit of an ombre effect because we did line the outsides of the lips. So there you have it, my very first video my typical makeup when I'm just going out, going to work, living my life, not doing anything too special. So there you go, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.